This is News 12, Varsity's Game Time. This afternoon from Homedale High School in Homedale, New Jersey. It's the 2017 Coach's Choice USA New York, New Jersey Challenge. As the Caseys of Red Bank Catholic take on the Knights of Gill St Bernards. Hello again, everyone. I'm Lou Brogno. Alongside on the call is Greg Lerner. We welcome you to Homedale. Interesting matchup here today between two programs that have had great success over the recent years. Gill St Bernards, though, comes in 4-9 on the season, Greg. Very uncharacteristic, but this is a team that has been decimated by injury.
Yeah, this had a very attractive, alluring look to it back before the season started, but unfortunately for the Knights, losing Alexia Lesh, who's been hurt, Nisani Santiago, their point guard, it really truly changes the complexion of this team. It's made kids who are going to be reserved step up into bigger spots. The one saving grace is that they're getting some kids back.
Red Bank Catholic, on the other side, is having an outstanding season. The Caseys have lost just twice all year, and both were close contests to number one Manasquan. This is a team that's playing at a very high level.
I sound like a broken record. I've been telling Kevin Devaney and anybody that's going to listen to me, they're as good as anybody in the Tri-State. They've proven that, and I'm going to tell you what, the first game they lost to Manasquan was played in the 60s. The second time around was a 44-42 game. You know what that tells me, Lou? RBC dictated the terms. That's what they're all about, dictating it through defense.
Well, we mentioned the Knights of Gill St Bernards have been hit by injury, but one of the bright spots this year has been the outstanding play of Sydney Caldwell, averaging over 17 points per game.
Yeah, like I said, they're getting some people back. I was referencing Sydney. She's a transfer from Paramus Catholic. She plays on the guard. She's given them some offense. They have another transfer, Ariel White, who's come over from Roselle Catholic. She's also eligible. So they're getting bodies. That's what really what Gill St Bernards was missing, was bodies. So they're getting some bodies to create some depth.
Red Bank Catholic features one of the top players in the Shore Conference. University of Vermont-bound Josie Larkins having an outstanding year, and she too averaging nearly 17 points per game.
You can relate to a Catamount, can't you there, Lou?
Right.
I think you got one living with you. Great player. What I love about Josie Larkins this year specifically is that I've even told her this. In years past, she was always recognized first and foremost for what she does on the perimeter as a shooter. But you watch her, she's starting to defend some of the best players on opposing teams, which says that she's well-rounded and she's athletic enough to play them in man-to-man. She does a whole lot of things, most of them good, if not all of them good, for the Caseys.
All right, we're looking forward to an outstanding game. Gill and RBC opening tip-off is just moments away here on News 12, Varsity's Game Time. This should be an outstanding contest. The Knights of Gill St Bernards, 4-9 on the season under head coach Aaron Gratch, and Red Bank Catholic ranked number 6 in our News 12 Varsity Tri-State poll at 15-2. Lou Brogno along with Greg Lerner, and Gill St Bernards decimated by injuries this year, Greg. But this team tried to get on the winning track, and it'll be a tough challenge today against a team that has lost just twice this year, both times to our number one team, Manasquan, by just 4 points and 2 points, respectively.
Yeah, and, you know, Gill does such a great job year in, year out, playing a grueling schedule. Unfortunately, this year with that grueling schedule, it exposed some glaring weaknesses, and none of them really, from a talent perspective, as much. It's just a lack of body perspective. You know, missing Alexia Lesh and missing Nisani Santiago are two components that the Knights really can't operate without. They're not designed. You look at their bench, you've got 3 kids on the bench, so you're talking about 8 kids in total. That's not a lot of bodies to go up against a grueling schedule that they take on year in and year out.
So we're underway. Gill in their road blue uniforms trimmed with the blue numerals and letters, and Red Bank Catholic in their home whites trimmed with gold and green, of course. With the basketball, Isabella Lalo, a freshman for Gill. This is a young team. Remember, they are missing Nisani Santiago, the sophomore, injured. She's missed 11 games, averaging 15 points a game. Alexia Alesh injured, the UMass commit, averaging 17 points and 13.7 rebounds per contest. And those are some tough holes to fill.
38 seconds in, and you get a little glimpse of why RBC is that good. Help defense. They turn players with the ball right into the secondary defender to turn you over, and they do it nonstop.
Here is Josie Larkins outside, one of the top players in the short conference, and inside the pass to Katie Rice, who lays it up and in. Rice averaging 8.7 points per game, gives the Caseys the early lead. They're up by the score of 2-0.
Katie Rice has had an exceptional year at both ends of the floor. She can give you exactly what you saw there, a threat off the dribble, and she's also a force defensively for them. Can play anywhere on the court defensively.
Emma Dean flips it outside. Sydney Caldwell, the transfer from Paramus Catholic, a sophomore, averaging 17 points a game and 4.6 rebounds. She directs traffic here as she tries to set something up here for the Knights. Dribbles in, draws a double team, flips it inside, turnaround, no good. Good defense by the Caseys, and quickly up court they come. Rose Caverly goes across to Larkins. Now, good ball movement here by the Caseys. Open three. Haley Moore takes the shot. Doesn't go. Off the rim. Picked off by Gill. Quickly up court they come. Caldwell dribbles in, but the foul before the shot. So no basket. And the foul called on RBC.
Prior to that foul call down there in the previous possession with RBC, Lou, you get to see a sense of what makes their offense tick. It's the ball movement. Ball never hits the floor. Always looking to make the extra pass to find the open shot. They get it and circulate it to Haley Moore, who's been on fire for the last 10 days.
And Rice going for that steal. Great hustle by Katie Rice. And the foul is on Emma Dean. That's her first. First team foul on Gill. Great inbounds to Larkins, who can't hit. Josie Larkins cutting to the hoop, unable to finish. Here comes the Knights down the other way and forced up the shot. Sydney Caldwell can't score. Red Bank Catholic on the run. Larkins for three. Off the front rim, no. Rebound Caldwell.
First time I'm getting to see Sydney Caldwell. Obviously, she became eligible about a week to 10 days ago. Good size on the ball. Positions well on the defensive glass. She already got a couple rebounds here, and we're early.
Red Bank
and
Catholic.
only a sophomore, Lou. Look at her. She don't look like she looks like a sophomore in college.
Well, she's got great size. You can see she has great court presence, good court awareness. Being played here by Katie Rice, and puts up a shot and took an extra step, traveling the call. So a slow start really to the game for both teams. Red Bank Catholic with a early 2-0 lead and a quick 30-second timeout called by Aaron Gratch and the Knights of Gill St Bernards. Back in Homedale, where Red Bank Catholic leads Gill by the score of 2-0. RBC coming in, the 6th-ranked team in our tri-state poll. As we mentioned, they're 15-2 on the year. Their only losses to Manasquan, 66-62, and then a buzzer beater as the Warriors won 44-42 in the second meeting of the season. They're just 6 points away, 7 points away from being undefeated on the season. Here's Rice, great drive down the lane, lays it up and in. Katie Rice with a nice move.
Every step of that drive, Lou, dripped with confidence. Cuts right through the 2-3, turns the corner, and applies a little pretty English off the glass.
Caldwell coming back the other way, can't score. Rebound pulled down by Gill, but then the ball on the floor, and you've got a held ball. The arrow pointing in the direction of Gill, so they'll keep possession. 4 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the first, and Red Bank Catholic with a 4-0 lead. Nice inbounds, but unable to finish. Ariel White puts it in. Ariel White, the junior, transfer out of Roselle Catholic, and this is her first action here for the Knights here today, getting an opportunity to contribute. So they're on the board. It's 4-2. Rose Caverly, the 5'9 junior, she's averaging over 8 points per game. in between the circles. Rice outside. Flips in the corner. Haley Moore launches a three and connects. Haley Moore, the top three-point shooter on RBC. And she gives the Caseys a 5-point lead.
Haley Moore is the people's choice this year. She was the New Jersey Player of the Year, voted on by the fans on News12Varsity.com, and deserved that kind of accolades. Had a huge performance against St. John Vianney last week, banging threes, playing D. You're seeing her right now. I mean, she's giving up some inches on Sydney Caldwell, but yet she's matched it up with her in man-to-man, which has been almost exclusive what RBC has run for the better part of 2 weeks. You know, they'll go into a matchup once in a while, but they're real confident in what they're doing in their straight-up man-to-man, plus what they do in the press.
Sydney Caldwell being played by Haley Moore. And Caldwell looking for an outlet, but no one breaking open right now for Gill. That's a tough defense, Greg, by RBC. And a hand check foul called on the Caseys. They'll call it on Haley Moore. Joe Montano wants to know what's going on there for RBC. In his 27th season. What a great tradition and history he has had with the Caseys throughout the years. Jump shot, top of the key is good. Sydney Caldwell buries it. It's a two-pointer just inside the arc, and it makes it 7-4.
Nice to know she's got that in her arsenal. She can play and shoot away from the basket.
Here's Caverly, flips to Rice. Rice draws two defenders. In the corner, Larkins is open for three. Off the front rim, doesn't go. And the rebound tracked down by Amanda Hart. And a foul underneath, called on the Knights.
Probably something that people don't talk about enough, in my opinion. Sixth man, Amanda Hart, one of the best six men in the state of New Jersey. When she comes on the floor, she gives you exactly what Joe Montano's looking for from his bench. Energy, but beyond that, she's a polished scorer. She's confident shooting from the perimeter, and she's athletic, and she gets inside.
Amanda Hart, the 5'7" junior, misses the first. She'll get another. RBC up by 3. It's 7-4, Red Bank Catholic. Big day of basketball here in Homedale, the Coach's Choice Challenge. Saw Long Island Lutheran defeat Rumson earlier today. Tough loss for the Bulldogs. They led a good portion of that game, but Long Island Lutheran came back in the fourth quarter. Sydney Caldwell flips it outside. Isabella Lalo inside, and traveling is the call. And again, good defense offered up by RBC as Josie Larkins contributed to that traveling violation.
Not many teams that I've seen so far in New Jersey who play better half-court man-to-man than RBC does.
A minute and a half remaining in the first. It's 8-4, Red Bank Catholic. Casey's looking for their 16th victory of the season. And a scoop shot off the glass is good. Maureen Coakley puts it in, the 5'11" senior.
Mo Coakley's been banged up a little bit. I think there was an ankle issue leading into the Vianney game a week ago, and there was question whether she would play. She's a gamer. She doesn't go to Manasquan, but she's a warrior, and she played in that game.
10-4 the score. Inside a minute now, left in the first. First of two games here on News 12 Varsity. Our second one will be a dandy. Rutgers Prep, ranked number 4 in the Tri-State, and Manasquan, undefeated, ranked number 1.
Yeah, we were just sitting here talking to Lisa Kokoda, the coach from Manasquan, who's sitting up here with her team watching this game and talking about the build-up for that one. And you could sense the excitement within her that, you know, it doesn't come around often when you get to see two of the best teams in the state and in the Tri-State bang heads during the regular season. It's usually reserved for the TSC, but we're going to get perhaps a preview of the TSC today.
Yeah, a big challenge for both teams here in the regular season. Meanwhile, Sydney Caldwell at the line, and she hits the first. She'll get another. And her second is on the way. Good, she hits both. And Gill is hanging in there. They're down by just 4. It's 10-6.
Sticking around.
Long three-point shot off the rim, doesn't go by Larkins, and here comes Gill on the run. Isabella Lalo flips top of the key. Caldwell holds it. Let's see if Gill holds for the last shot. 15 seconds left. Caldwell outside, played by Rice. Caldwell trying to get around Katie Rice. 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. Here's Caldwell, crossover dribble. Top of the key, now drives the lane against 3 defenders, puts it up, can't score. Ball's on the floor, and that will do it. So the first quarter comes to an end. Red Bank Catholic has a 4-point lead. Casey's 10, Gill St Bernards 6, here on News 12, Varsity's Game Time. Welcome back to the 2017 Coach's Choice USA New York, New Jersey Challenge here at Homedale High School. Lou Brogno along with Greg Lerner, Red Bank Catholic with a 10-6 lead over Gill St Bernards. And in that first quarter, Gill outmanned really coming into the game. Hey, they played tough. They're only down by 4 points. Good showing in that first quarter.
Hung around, patient with the basketball, chewing up clock with possessions, making the game a shorter version of itself, giving themselves an opportunity. And look, they're down by 4.
Larkins flips outside. Josie Larkins, 16.2 points per game. Inside, Coakley tries an underhand scoop shot, doesn't go. And here come the Knights. Lalo up top, being played tough by Haley Moore. Caldwell backs it out. Now drives, puts it up off the glass, doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Maureen Coakley. And the call goes against Red Bank Catholic.
Each of those last 2 possessions for Gill, though, you've seen Caldwell get access off the dribble, and then once she gets into that closing area, she's cut off by somebody, and that's the help defense of RBC at its best.
The Knights throw it away on the inbounds, and then it's knocked out of bounds off of Gill. It'll be Red Bank Catholic basketball. Katie Rice checks back in, and Maureen Coakley sits down for the Caseys. RBC in their last game coming off a win within the short conference, defeating Wall 73-31. Underneath, Katie Rice puts it in. And it's a 6-point Red Bank Catholic lead. They're up 12-6. Here's Sydney Caldwell. Draws a double team. And the Knights throw it away, trying to feed Caldwell on the sideline.
It's not the stuff that draws the fancy of basketball fans, but for the purists, the people that really like defense, you see the effortless switches, coming off screens, stepping over the top of screens, checking off and switching when you're caught up in the wash. That's what RBC does, and that has always been a signature of Joe Montano's teams. They are always predicated, not just on defense, Lou, but pristine defense. You better play it with the same amount of pride and with the principles that he expects you to. Otherwise, you just don't play.
It's a team with deep talent.
And you know who might not be a better example to express that? Would be the Manasquan coach, Lisa Kaczynski, who's now Lisa Kokoda, but when she played for the Caseys was Lisa Kaczynski and was a defensive glove for RBC during some of its best teams ever, and was one of those kids who epitomized checking ego at the door and recognizing what gets you to the mountaintop, and it's playing good defense. And then, oh, wow, if we play it well, look what happens. We get runouts, we get transition, we get some offense out of it, and that's something that she has brought over and instilled into Manasquan, tracing back to her RBC days.
Well, RBC with the basketball. There's Larkins. Comes around to Amanda Hart. And then they try to feed it into Haley Moore. She tries to go through a double team. And a foul is on Gill. And a foul on Kate Howard. That's her first, team third. And one of the Gill players went down. That's Isabella Lalo, the freshman. She seems to be okay. It was a loud thud. It drew a lot of oohs and ahs from the crowd, but she pops right back up.
What a crowd, right?
Huge crowd here at Homedale. It looks near a sellout for sure. And you could imagine that the next game, Manasquan Rutgers Prep, should really draw a huge crowd.
The one thing about that one, though, is that Rutgers Prep being a private school,
yes,
it doesn't bring that community into
correct.
it. Like,
that
you know,
is
it's
correct.
about, you hope the school community could show out. Listen, it's Rutgers Prep. They're not around the corner. You know, they're in Somerset. So, and it's a Sunday. I get it. But that all said, there's a huge turnout here. And I can't emphasize enough, Kevin and I were talking about in the first broadcast of the day, the college coaches that are here.
Yes.
It's top shelf. Top shelf.
Long three-point shot is good. Haley Moore, her second three-point shot made in the game, and she gives Red Bank Catholic a 9-point lead. 15-6, Casey's. Excellent defense, and a foul, though, is called. And the foul, I think, is on Gill. They call it on Sydney Caldwell. That's her first.
Get a little taste of Tia Montaigne right there. The Montaigne sisters, okay, Lou? Tiffany Montaigne, who played at Jackson and was a defensive glove in helping Jackson to the Group 4 final. Her sister is the same thing, cut from the same cloth. Emphasizes playing tough. And again, when we watch her going over the top of screens, it's not the sexy side of basketball, but it is the winning side of basketball.
Montaigne, the 5'7" senior. There's a long three-pointer. Good! Josie Larkins buries it from outside. Larkins, who scored in double digits 10 times this year, hits a big three-pointer there, and Red Bank Catholic's lead is ballooned to 12 now. It's 18-6.
When Josie Larkins shoots a three, meteorologists around the tri-state area get excited because it's going to bring some rain, man. She puts it up high in the sky with that rainbow, and she has a lot of effectiveness with it. But what has really translated this year about Josie's game is that she's more well-rounded. She is not just a perimeter artist anymore. She can put it on the floor. I've had plenty of games where she hasn't hit 1 3, but yet she still finished with 12, 13, 14 points. That's for attacking the basket. And again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I'm sorry. When you talk about RBC, it's defense, and she has played phenomenal defense this year in their man-to-man.
Well, 5 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the first half. Red Bank Catholic in command at the moment. They're up 18-6. They're on an 8-0 run. Remember, as we began the second quarter, we were singing Gill's praises that they were down by just 4. But now they're down by 12 points.
Here's an epitome, though, of the depth factor in favor of RBC. Sydney Caldwell. It's just one Sydney Caldwell. So far in the first half, we've seen Haley Moore, Katie Rice, and Tia Montaigne defender. That wears you out after a while when you've got 3 different kids who are seeing you, defending you, and it's just one you, and they can rotate 3 people against you.
And Caldwell trying to direct traffic, but Emma Dean comes over to play it. And it's thrown away. And up ahead is Montaigne, puts it up and can't connect. Here's Lalo, only a freshman, getting some valuable playing experience this year for the Knights. And traveling the call. Amanda Hart checks back into the lineup for Red Bank Catholic. Rose Caverly brings it across here for the Caseys. Rice flips outside, long jumper by Hart, doesn't go. And the rebound pulled down by Ariel White. Caldwell walks it across. More than halfway through quarter number 2. Red Bank Catholic up 18-6. Glad you could join us if you're watching live on this Sunday afternoon. Hey, Super Bowl's not till next week. It's a weekend of no football. Some great girls basketball here to watch.
Yeah, we were joking in the first broadcast. I said, the Pro Bowl's today, but you're going to see more superstars here than you might see wherever that's at.
It's true, though. And a long three-pointer made by Kate Howard. And that was a big shot there for Gill in the corner. And it draws them a little bit closer. It's now 18 to, well, they say it was just a two-pointer. I thought it was a 3, but they give just 2. It's a 10-point game, 18-8, with 3:22 remaining in the second.
Give you an idea of the draw of this day, okay? So we've noted multiple occasions the amount of college coaches from a lot of high-profile D1s. Chris Daly was here from UConn. It doesn't get much higher than that, right, when it's talking about the royalty of college basketball. But I see kids, players from all over the place, like right below us. Julia Cunningham from Watchung Hills and Katie Kynum from New Providence. They're here today. They want to see this. They want to see some of the best teams. Because I'm sure they've played against some of them in AAU circuits, but there's an intrigue to it as well, seeing what's all the buzz about Manasquan? What's all the buzz about RBC, Rutgers Prep, Gill St Bernards, whatever. So you've got a great crowd here, and Coach's Choice USA has done a terrific job promoting this event for however long they've started. It seems like forever ago. And now they're reaping the fruits today. It's a huge crowd here.
Well, Red Bank Catholic, as we said, a top 10 team here in the Tri-State at number 6. Up by 10, 18-8. Haley Moore, up top it goes to Caverly. Inside, Coakley, up off the glass. Maureen Coakley high off the backboard. 20-8. Caldwell, as Ariel White dumped little lob pass out towards the midcourt line. Caldwell had to race back to get it. Three-point shot from the corner, dances off the rim, doesn't go. Shot taken by Emma Fetrow, and here comes Red Bank Catholic. Katie Rice in the corner. Driving in and laying it in beautifully. Haley Moore, strong baseline drive.
And good kick out by Mo Coakley right there. You want that from your post player, the recognition and the willingness to kick out to the shooter.
22-8, RBC. Caldwell stops, pops, and hits. Well, there's a nice play by Sydney Caldwell. A turnaround jumper. 22-10. 1:45 left in the second quarter. Katie Rice goes cross court to Hart. Amanda Hart drives in, and she's fouled. As coming over to make the block was Ariel White, but White gets her with the body. That's her second personal foul. 6th team foul on Gill, and Amanda Hart at the line. She'll shoot 2.
I love the decision by Amanda Hart. That skip pass by Katie Rice kind of opens it up if she wants to take the J, but she passes it up because she wants a higher percentage shot, attacks the basket, and then win-win, gets herself to the foul line and pins a foul on one of the Gill St Bernards kids.
And both free throws are good. So the Caseys with a 14-point lead, 24-10.
So I want to take a quick second to talk about a guy that we're really fond of, the two of us, and I don't know of anybody that's not fond of him. Mike Kinney, our guy today, Lou, being inducted into the New Jersey Lacrosse Hall of Fame. A salute to my man Mike, who's got the the best writing vernacular of anybody in our business, and B, the best hair of anybody in our business as well.
That's right.
Love him to death. So happy for him and his family. I know that they're at the reception today, and it's his day. So riding time, or whatever you call it for lacrosse, to Mike Kinney.
Yeah, congratulations, Mike. Absolutely. Well deserved. One of the great guys in our business. And, of course, we're biased because he's our colleague. But even if he was not our colleague and it was at News 12 Varsity, he's just a class guy.
I will tell you that, and I don't think I'm speaking out of school in this regard, universally respected, revered by the entire New Jersey sports writing community. I don't know of anybody that's ever said a bad word about Mike Kinney.
No.
Classy. Definition of classy.
Minute left here in the second. Turnaround. Katie Rice doesn't go. 1 minute left. Strong first half for RBC, especially defensively, Greg, as you mentioned, holding Gill to just 10 points here in the first half.
Yeah, and not a lot of their points have come off runouts. They're still executing in the half court, which basically tells you they're working both ends of the floor smartly and through execution.
And traveling the call again.
I mean, how many traveling turnovers have we seen so far? Now, some of them were unforced, but a few of them you have to credit to, it's the help. It's like beating you to a spot, you don't expect them, you turn to square, or you turn to face. There's somebody in your way, and then you have to make steps that you weren't accounting for.
20 seconds left. RBC will hold for the last shot of the first half. Rose Caverly way up top. Down to 10 on the clock. Now the Caseys will move. Rice inside, good ball movement, open. Here is the long shot put up by Haley Moore, doesn't go. And that will do it. So the first half controlled by Red Bank Catholic. They lead 24-10 at the half. We'll be back with second half action in just a few moments here on News 12, Varsity's Game Time. Welcome back to News 12 Varsity's Game Time, the Coach's Choice USA New York, New Jersey Challenge. Gill St Bernards and Red Bank Catholic and the Caseys leading 24-10 as we get ready for the second half. Lou Brogno along with Greg Lerner, and close at the end of the first quarter, Greg, but Red Bank Catholic really took charge of the second quarter, and now up by 14. It's going to be a big hill to climb for the Knights.
They got to figure out a way to solve the defense, and if they do, everybody will be calling Aaron Gratz because he'll be the first
right.
team to solve their defense. It's the unfortunate perfect storm from the perspective of Gill St Bernards. You're undermanned, and you're going against a team that has incredible depth and really hasn't scratched the surface of it yet. You know, when you look at their bench, Amanda Hart and Mo Coakley are the only two who have come off of it so far. I don't believe we saw Annetta Panayides yet. So there's depth beyond what we see in that first half, and they could use it here in the second half.
Well, the Caseys turned it over to begin the third quarter, so Gill will have the basketball. Emma Fitro gets it in for the Knights as they move right to left on your screen here in the second half. Sydney Caldwell had some good moments in that first half. She drives in against two defenders, and Montag able to get a piece of it and knock it away.
Waking up Andrew Miller over there, our photographer, who was loading up some loading up some pictures, and all of a sudden the basketball comes live and in living color right into his lap.
That'll wake you up. Here's Larkins, flips outside. RBC very patient here offensively. Josie Larkins dishes to Rice, who drives in and can't score. Did everything right there except finish. Then the long pass down the court, intercepted by Larkins.
Those are the turnovers that are going to kill Gill St Bernards. You know, you don't listen. we're talking about a 14-point game right now. There's no need to run out. We got to be effective with every possession we get because you've seen that they're not going to. RBC's going to be unyielding defensively. I can guarantee you that. So when we get possessions, we can't be frivolous with them. We have to cherish every one of them in order to get back in this game.
Here's the freshman Lalo. Brings it across. She's getting some valuable playing time with Nasani Santiago injured. Santiago has missed 11 games this season. She's only played in 2 of Gill's games, the first 2 games of the season. In those 2 games, she averaged 15 points per contest. But they really have missed her. Here's a long shot. Good by Caldwell from the top of the key.
You're seeing some signs of promise, though, for Gill. You know, Sydney Caldwell, obviously. Santiago is here, and I saw her in uniform. She is not playing, but I got the sense from Aaron Gratch in the pregame she's getting closer. So you're going to have another player in the backcourt for them.
And of course, Alexia Alesh out, the UMass commit. The last 2 weeks she has not been on the court. Here's a young lady, a senior, averaging 17 points a game, almost 14 rebounds, led the team in blocks. These are tough shoes to fill. It's 24-16, and Gill is creeping back in.
8-point game. Sydney Caldwell, subtly, quietly, striking, and now they're within 8. And Joe Montano is going to get his ladies' attention. I can guarantee you that right now. And tell them that, you know what, we have some unfinished business here. This is unacceptable. We need to get back to what we were doing, the way we were conducting things in the first half.
We got a whole second half to go, and I'm sure Joe's relaying the message, hey, this game is not over. We have not won this game yet. Let's see how they respond after the timeout. Red Bank Catholic last year, 21-7, got to the South A semifinals. A good year for Red Bank Catholic, but by their standards, they have such high standards. Probably not satisfying for the Caseys. This year they have high expectations, only 2 losses as we said so far. You know, you take a look down the road at the upcoming Shore Conference tournament. What a tournament that is going to be, Greg, with the likes of Manasquan and Red Bank Catholic and Rumson and St. John Vianney. It goes on and on. Toms River, Middletown South.
Short conference, year in and year out. I don't think many people will argue is the best conference in terms of their depth. You know, it's not just your usual suspects.
And of course, I neglected to say St. Rose. I don't know how, but St. Rose, one of the top teams in the state.
Number 2.
Yes. 26-16. See a little bit more fluidity here offensively for Gill in this second half. There's Lalo, gets around 2 defenders, now drives in, lays it up and in. Beautiful drive by the freshman, Isabella Lalo.
Fearless drive. Izzy getting busy.
26-18, long 3-point shot, almost banked in off the top of the backboard. But it didn't go, and now Gill a chance to cut it to 6. Wild shot, though, put up by Caldwell. And over the back, the foul called on the Knights. And the foul's on Fitro, Emma Fitro. That's her second. First team foul here in the second half on Gill. Katie Rice dribbles in the lane, lays it up and in. Nice play by Katie Rice.
Great body control. When she goes to the basket, she does it with purpose.
And that's knocked out of bounds. Will remain Gill basketball. Last touched by RBC. Amanda Hart checks back in. Maureen Coakley back in for the Caseys as well.
Seeing a lot of fan action in the crowd. A lot of people fanning themselves in here.
You don't often see the officials call time to let a fan walk back to his seat with a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Coffee? Coffee? It's hot as blazes in here right now. Coffee? Bring up a cooler of ice. Dump it on my head.
28-21. It's a little on the warm side, folks, in case you're wondering what Greg is referring to. It's a little on the warm side where our broadcast location is.
Lou, here comes Gill St. Bernards now with the chance, potentially, to cut this to as little as 4 on this possession.
Down by 7. And foul on the floor prior to the shot as Sydney Caldwell took the lane. Foul on Katie Rice, that's her first. First team foul on the Caseys here in the second half, and that'll be another. I think Rice got caught with her hand in the cookie jar there. That would be her second. That is her second. Shaking that left hand. And the inbound stolen by Larkins. Great pass inside to Rice, back outside. Caverly, Rose Caverly with the 3.
Rose, for RBC, is probably what you would consider the primary facilitator for them. She kind of steers the offense, points it in the right direction. She is the compass. Don't let that fool you, though. When you leave her open, she can be deadly from the perimeter. Doesn't get enough credit for his shooting stroke.
Here's a jump shot from the corner, doesn't go. Taken by Kate Howard of Gill. And the Caseys quickly up court. Here's Caverly, flips outside in the corner, wide open. Amanda Hart can't connect. Rice, good hustle to get that loose ball. Coakley drives in, puts it up, and draws the foul.
Mo, got to go to Mo every once in a while. You know, get the ball inside, mix it up. Creates a little space on the perimeter if you need to. See a little bit more energy from RBC in the last couple minutes here. I think Gill St. Bernards got their undivided attention.
And Coakley hits the free throw, so she'll get another. Emma Dean back in the game for the Knights. And sitting down, Ariel White. Second free throw good as well, as Coakley hits both. And it's back up to a 12-point game, 33-21.
And the press comes out. See if they can pad this lead. RBC taking the opportunity to turn up the heat while the heat is in their favor.
And getting a piece of that was Amanda Hart. Good defense. Larkin drives in and draws the foul. Foul before any kind of shot. It's on the floor. So RBC will throw in on the baseline. Just the third team foul on the Knights. Three-point shot by Coakley. He goes. Maureen Coakley gets the bounce. (36-21). It's a 15-point game. Largest lead of the game now for Red Bank Catholic. Minute 15 remaining in the third. Well, it looked like Gill was going to make a run at one point. They did close the gap.
Great hustle.
Yeah, RBC has gone on a run here and has expanded to a 15-point lead.
Emma Fetro running the baseline, saving that ball spanking it off of an RBC defender. I love it.
White backs out, looking for help. Gets it back to the freshman Lalo. Sydney Caldwell. And Coakley reaches in. Foul will be on Maureen Coakley. That's her third, and that's actually her first, and the third team foul called on the Caseys. .40 seconds left here, third quarter. 5-second violation. How about that defense by RBC?
Have we talked about the RBC defense at all in this podcast? Tia Montaigne, it runs in her blood. I love a kid who doesn't be consumed by the idea that I have to get headlines through scoring baskets. It's just like, I hope somebody appreciates what I do as a defender. If I don't, so be it. But I'm telling you, Lou, it is not, when you come out on the floor and everybody starts to size up who their matchups are, whoever's playing RBC does not want to see the shoulder of number 4 lean up against them before that opening tip. Otherwise, they're guaranteed to know that for 32 minutes, they're in for it.
Coming by.
And a foul up top, called on Red Bank Catholic with just 4.7 seconds left. That's the fourth team foul on RBC. Caldwell puts it up at the buzzer. Yes, basket's good. Count the bucket. And Sydney Caldwell with a nice play at the buzzer. Makes it 36-23. So RBC goes to the fourth and final quarter with a 13-point lead. Red Bank Catholic 36, Gill St Bernards 23. Fourth quarter upcoming on News 12, Varsity's Game Time. Welcome back to the Coach's Choice USA New York, New Jersey Challenge. Red Bank Catholic leading Gill St Bernards 36-23. Lou Brogno along with Greg Lerner. Glad you could join us here on News 12 Varsity. As the fourth quarter begins, Red Bank Catholic with a hefty lead. If you're Aaron Gratch here, Greg, you just want to, I think, just see your team compete here in the fourth quarter and try to do some positive things. The game might be out of reach, down by 13, but there's a lot of season left. Steal by Katie Rice. Rice puts it up and in. Nice play by Rice as she picks the pocket and scores.
She's had a terrific game, a terrific season, and I think is starting to get people's attention for her well-roundedness.
Katie Rice, the name sounds familiar. Her dad, former Rutgers coach, current Patrick School coach, Mike Rice. You know, he's got to be feeling good, very proud of his daughter. This is Greg mentioned, she's had an outstanding season. She's only a junior, Katie Rice. And a timeout, well, knocked out of bounds. Thought a timeout was called, but just a signal for possession. So Gill basketball down 38-23. Gill coming in 4-9. Two of those losses were to Rutgers Prep. Of course, Rutgers Prep will be playing in our next game. Argonauts are 16-1, ranked fourth in our tri-state poll, and they're going up against undefeated Manasquan, 16-0. So stick around for that. I know the crowd here in Homedale anticipating that big matchup. There's an offensive foul called on Caldwell. That's her second. Each team with 14 fouls as we play the first minute and a half of the fourth quarter. Here's Rice, dribbles in, dishes underneath, and a block. Nicely done by Gill on the baseline. Here's Caldwell, dribbles in against 3 defenders, loses the handle. Last touch, though, by Red Bank Catholic. Emma Fitro trying to get it in, and a long inbounds pass chased down by Lalo. Is he Lalo? Haley Moore all over her defensively, takes it away. Then Moore drives in, flips outside to Rice. Cross-court pass picked off by Caldwell. And a foul way up top. Blocking foul. Called on Gill, actually called on RBC. Nope, they say the call is now on Gill. So RBC will have possession. Casey's will throw inside court. Foul on Ariel White, that's her 4th. She comes out of the game. 5th team foul on the Knights. 5:35 left fourth quarter. Red Bank Catholic up 38-23. 3-point shot, Larkins doesn't go. And then underneath, it's dished up and in. Lead is 17 now for the Caseys, their largest of the game. Emma Dean, back outside, Lalo, backs it out, makes a nice move, now stops, pops, and doesn't go. Nice move, though, by the freshman. Caverly to Rice, outside, Larkins, no. Rebound pulled down by Ficho.
See Joe Montano going to his bench now.
That's a blocking foul on Red Bank Catholic. Big collision there between Sydney Caldwell and Maureen Coakley. Fouls on Coakley, her 2nd. 15 foul on RBC. And Sydney Caldwell will go to the line. Mentioned Sydney Caldwell, transfer from Paramus Catholic to Gill St Bernards. Just a sophomore. Promising young player, 17 points per game, almost 5 rebounds. Can't connect on the first. Couple of substitutions for Red Bank Catholic. Fabienne Eggenschweiler comes in, the 5'11 freshman. And also Amanda Hart. Rebound, Eggenschweiler gets right into the heat of the battle. In the corner, Hart for 3. Off the back rim, though. Katie Rice tracks down the rebound. 4:15 left.
RBC is going to look to run some prolonged sets probably, eat up a little clock. The clock is their friend.
Katie Rice, turnaround jumper, good from the foul line.
Another friend of RBC is the southpaw, Katie Rice, very nice.
And driving down the lane, drawing the foul, Sydney Caldwell.
I love her perseverance going into the paint off the dribble. You know, she has a strong physical body that she's willing to use by going inside and daring defenders to stop her. and she's been doing that relentlessly, like a wrecking ball going to the side of a building all day long, breaking you down off the dribble, getting into the lane, either finishing, and when she's not finishing, she's getting herself to the foul line and finishing there. So for a sophomore, she's got a good sense of the game, and I think you pointed that out very early in the game. Lou, you recognize that she's got a good read on the game at a young age, which should translate well for the rest of this season and then for 2 more years, potentially.
And timeout called. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left, fourth quarter. Red Bank Catholic in command. Casey's lead it 42-24. Following the timeout, Red Bank Catholic basketball. Casey's 3.5 minutes away from victory 16 on the season. Again, Schweiler flips outside. Good ball movement here by RBC. But it's taken away by Lalo. Good job defensively. Up ahead, Caldwell can't score. Ariel White gets the rebound in the corner, dishes inside Caldwell, puts up a tough shot, and the rebound pulled down by Haley Moore. So Moore across the midcourt line. Dishes to Rice. Back outside, Hart takes the three, doesn't go. Slapped out nicely there by Rice. But Gill gets it back, and they'll bring it across. Under 3 minutes now left in the game. Underhand scoop shot put up, doesn't go. Katie Rice in the corner. Egan Schweiler dribbles in, flips it outside. In the corner, wide open. Haley Moore can't connect. Gets her own rebound, puts up a reverse and scores.
Love it. Working hard. Arguably the smallest kid on the floor. Plays with one of the biggest hearts you're going to see and plays with a ton of smarts.
Haley Moore, just a junior. Three-point shot doesn't go. Rebound, Rice. Katie Rice flips in the corner. Moore for three. Haley Moore buries a three. And RBC up by 23, 47-24.
In that sequence, you see both sides of her. You see what she does away from the basket. She's deadly from the perimeter. But you also get a sense of her fearlessness going inside. Doesn't care how, like no one's ever told her, hey, Haley, you know, you're 5'6", you got no business being in here. She doesn't want to hear that. She goes inside, she attacks the basket, she retrieves the basketball. Plus what she does with her help side defense is underrated in the grand scheme of things. So there's a reason why they've had 2 losses and have beaten all comers. It's because of how well they play together as a unit. They are a team in every sense of the definition.
You take a look at their remaining schedule, and it's very favorable as they head towards the Shore Conference tournament, which will begin in mid-February. They've got Ocean Township coming up, Manalapan coming up. All games where RBC will be favored heavily. You take a look at the Shore Conference, though. Even though RBC is going to be 16-2 after this game, you know, you talk about the top seeds in the Shore Conference, Greg. And even with RBC's lofty record and outstanding season, they still might only be a 3 seed maybe in the tournament. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what develops. But if the season ended today, Manasquan probably would definitely be the number 1 seed, and you know, you figure St. Rose is in that mix at the top. And
it'll be interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, the Shore Conference actually doesn't get seeded for another 2 weeks from today.
Right.
It's not even next week. It's the following week, I
Right.
believe, where they seed.
Yeah, a lot of county tournaments begin early. They actually begin like the first week of February, where they play early games on the weekend, early round games on the first weekend of February. But that's not the case with the short conference. Short conference is a late arriving tournament. Begins middle of February, and really the last 2 weeks of February, they squeeze all those games in.
Well, you figure Bergen County tournament, which I covered yesterday, wrapped up the first round. The week prior, preliminary round. Morris Catholic this week, preliminary round. Passaic County, preliminary round. Hunterdon Warren Sussex, preliminary round. But they play it from weekend to weekend.
Correct.
The short conference is cleaned up in a matter of 10 days. They wipe it out.
I like the way the short conference does it, by the way.
It builds.
If I had a preference, that's the way I would like to see it done. And driving and putting it up and in, Sydney Caldwell. No quitting her. And it's a 21-point game. Last minute of play. Jump shot from the corner, dances off the rim, doesn't go. As Joe Montano has gone to his bench. And a lot of his reserves getting some much-deserved playing time. Big block by Ariel White. Up ahead to Lalo. 30 seconds left. Jump shot from way downtown doesn't go by Caldwell. And you'll have a foul underneath called on Gill. Nope, called on Red Bank Catholic.
So Aaron Gratch's team will fall to 4-11. Tough weekend, lost to Monsignor Scanlon yesterday, losing to RBC here today. But I'm telling you right now, with the Somerset County tournament being ready to go through its seeding process, Gill St Bernards is the last team anybody is going to want to see on their side of the bracket when that tournament commences.
Absolutely. Especially if the Knights can get some of these key injuries resolved, that can get Santiago back on the court. And who knows with Alexio Lesh, but they can get some of these players back on the court. You're right. No one in Somerset County wants to see Gill as the opponent. Long shot at the buzzer is good. Three-pointer good by Caldwell, and that will do it. Red Bank Catholic with an impressive victory. They win it by the score of 49-31. Overall, just a very workmanlike performance by Red Bank Catholic, and they certainly looked every bit as good as that number 6 ranking in the Tri-State.
I was thinking that the same thing. That was business as usual for the Caseys. Come in here. I give Gill St. Bernards a ton of credit. I think they cut that game at one point to a 6 or 4 point game, whatever it was. And then RBC said, you know what, that's enough. We're going to stop the bleeding. And then they turned it out and did what RBC does, which is win convincingly, 49-31. And now it's moving on to next week. And, they've gone through quite a stretch of games against some quality opponents. And another one goes down today.